Arash, when it comes to flying, are you more of an Air Canada person, WestJet person? When you're planning your travel, who's your go-to airline these days?
I am AC. I am Star Alliance all the way. If I'm working or I'm going to be awake for the flight, I'm an aisle guy. If I want to have a nap and if I know I'm going to sleep, I'm a window guy. So, what about you, Wes?
A lot of it dictated by price, but now when we go as a family of 5, there's other factors besides price. It's availability,
Sure.
it's schedule. When you're traveling with 3 kids and the time of day, that's big. One of the things, Arash, and I don't necessarily know, because if you travel a lot for work, those people almost become like part of your work family. You know this. You'll see the same faces, the cabin crew and some of the pilots. A lot of people don't realize flight attendants only get paid for when the plane is actually in the air. So when they're welcoming you
Correct.
on board, not paid. Safety demo, no vaping, Arash. No smoking, Arash. Not paid. Deplaning, not paid. And that's what they're asking, to say, hey, it's part of the gig. Can we get compensated for that? So I didn't know that.
When you board a plane, and when you board a plane and you've dealt with a 3 or 4 hour delay, you glare at the flight attendant, you take it out on the flight attendant. Guess what? The flight attendant, A, had nothing to do with the delay. B, wasn't getting paid during that delay. C, if the delay is long enough and they've been at the airport long enough, they may send them home because there's only X number of hours that they can be on the clock, even though they're not getting paid. So there's a lot to it. Always root for the labor when it comes to these kinds of things, Maz, you know?
Here, I'm with you, especially from a good blue-collar place like Sasky. All right, a couple of weeks ago, we'll give you credit. You turned us on to this. Vicky and Mboko, the story wrote itself. The story ended up with the ending that you could write the movie script about. But when you were on last week, the final was happening, so we didn't have the conclusion to the movie. But it all worked out the way it should, didn't it?
The conclusion of the movie included a trophy lift for an 18-year-old who wouldn't have even been in the tournament, Maz, if it were anywhere else in the world except for Canada. And instead, at a WTA 1000 premier event, like as good a tournament as you're going to get outside of the 4 majors, here is this kid who began the year ranked 333 in the world, cracking top 25 in the rankings. Like it defies logic. It's beyond belief. It doesn't make sense. It's incredible. She beat 4 Grand Slam champions on her way to the title. And the last time someone did that this young, Serena Williams in 1999. It's just an amazing achievement, an amazing accomplishment.
If it could parallel a Serena Williams-like career, I think Mboko's going to be doing okay. All right. If you're watching the stream, Arash is outdoors and there's a forest in the background. But if he is in Nova Scotia, I'm not telling and I'm not blowing his cover, so let's go to the CFL. This Winnipeg Blue Bomber team, 3-1. Arash, the Bombers are 4-4. What's happening? Las Pegas, as the kids call it these days, which I love, by the way.
Is that what they're calling it? Are they 4-4? Or are they 4-5, Maz?
Aren't they 4-4? Oh,
I believe
maybe I'm giving them too much credit. I'm giving them too much credit if they're 4-5.
Here's the thing about pro sports, and especially pro football. You have to identify the warning signs before they are there. And there were a bunch, even early when the Bombers were winning games. And you kind of look at it now and you're saying to yourself, like, look, at 3-1, I was kind of wondering what was going on with Mike O'Shea. I didn't like how things were kind of progressing. Winnipeg has become a little bit of a reputation team. And that's what happens when you get to 5 straight Grey Cups and you start over-evaluating your own players, your own talent, and you think you're a little better than you are. And that also extends to coaching staff. Look, I'm all for Jason Hogan getting the opportunity as an offensive coordinator. Yes, I guess he paid his dues. He was the running backs coach, and Brady Oliveira vouched for him and advocated for him. It just feels right now, Maz, the Bombers are way over their skis. Their roster probably isn't as good as they think it is. Their coaching on the offensive side of the football is lacking, and the results are showing it. Like, this is a team that only has, one win in their last 5 games, and that's against a pretty meager Argos team. This is not good. Like, there were warning signs, and now it's ablaze, and I wonder how they're going to get out of it. I really do.
It definitely is unfamiliar territory for Bomber fans because they're so used to it.
Because look at this. Just hold on. Like, they're up 17-0 on Calgary, right? You're saying to yourself after the first quarter, you're saying to yourself, this game's over, right? That's what happened to the Bombers of old. The Bombers of the last few years would not lose a game leading by 3 scores. It was automatic. And, like, these are some of those, like, the warning signs I was talking about. They were all on display the other night.
Hogan's situation as offensive coordinator reminds me a lot. Remember when the Riders hired Kelly Jeffries, the OC here, with not a lot of pro experience or any at all? Now, O'Shea seems like a loyalty guy. And like you had said, if Hogan paid his dues throughout the years and just biding his time, there is that. Some people wanted maybe a bigger name. Some people don't realize Dalton Schoen's on the 6-game list. They don't necessarily have great depth behind them because Drew Wolodarski's not there. He's a Hamilton Cat, correct? Like, they've been plucked in
Kenny
areas.
Lawler's not there.
Kenny Lawler's
not there. That's the big one, yeah.
And Zach Caleros has taken more hits, it seems, this year than he did all of last year. And it was great to see Zach have a rebound game on Saturday. He took some hard shots, but he pulled himself up. But he's getting knocked around like he's not used to. Like, the piece, it's funny. There's another year on everybody. Willie Jefferson dominated a game a couple of weeks ago, but I get it. There are some definite... Before, there was no chinks in the armor when it came to the Bombers. Now there are definite holes that sometimes people are driving a battery-powered Tesla truck through. It's 2025. We got to be environmentally sound.
Sure. A Bombers team also that lost to Cody Fajardo and Nick Arbuckle in the Grey Cup. A Bombers team that led in the 3 Grey Cups that they lost at the half and didn't finish. A Bombers team that continues to let people out the door and are not properly replacing them from a talent standpoint and from a coaching standpoint. From the coaching standpoint, I kind of get it. You're almost handcuffed with this idiotic staff administration cap.
But I hate that.
Yeah. When it comes to players, though, Maz, like, you talk about Wolodarski, we talk about Lawler, we talk about the dudes that have left.
Tyrell Ford.
What have they been replaced with? It's a lot of the same old heads that are still around there, and they got old fast.
The head scratcher of the week to me, the Toronto Argonauts go up 22-1 on the Ottawa Redblacks in the second quarter. I turned off the TV. I had other stuff to do because that game was over. There was no way. I'm like, this is off. East Division, CFL, this is awful. I came back around the start of the fourth quarter when some of the fireworks started going off and the points and scoring. But don't tell me that the Ottawa Redblacks are now dangerous because they beat the Argonauts in a comeback win and all the problems are solved. They still should be relegated, those two.
Sure. And I guess Edmonton, do we think they're legit now because they went into Montreal and won a game? Yeah, right. So now, of these 3 teams, one of them's getting in.
I know.
That's the amazing part of all of this. Ottawa's not good. Toronto's not good. Edmonton's not good. The only difference is Ottawa's got its starting quarterback healthy. and well, starting, I should say. Edmonton's gone to their backup, Fajardo. Toronto hasn't had a starter all year, and I don't expect to see Chad Kelly playing at all this season, period. No, the Red Blacks, somebody just had to win that game, and I just think for a while we just assumed that Toronto would because the Argos are the defending Grey Cup champs and they beat the Bombers a couple of weeks ago. But the Argos are dreadful. You talk about roster replenishment being non-existent. That's what's happened in Toronto too. I think they're going to make some changes coming up from a roster standpoint leading into this upcoming week. You have Wynton McManus calling people out publicly. You have Ryan Dinwiddie calling people out publicly. It's a mess over there. But I don't think we learned anything about Ottawa other than, okay, I guess they can put up some points, but also their defense can't stop other opponents scoring points. So that's a problem.
What did you think the command center missed at the end of the Ottawa-Toronto game?
It's not what I think. It's what I saw. Nick Arbuckle got smashed in the head on the interception, on the game-ending interception. Yes, he threw it into double coverage. He's trying to make a play. There weren't a ton of camera looks on it, but I had people reach out to me with some photos. I don't know if they were screen grabs or whatever of Arbuckle absolutely getting hit in the head. Now, the officials on the field missed it, but that is automatic that the command center has to review. And they didn't even review it, Maz. And like you talk about a game-changing call, that's the interception that led to 2 knees and game over, So that should be a first down. That should be a 15-yard penalty. That should get the ball much closer to midfield, and then it's an altogether different football game. They absolutely blew it. They absolutely missed it.
As the Riders are coming off the bye, and it was a tough way for Hamilton to lose last week. Tim White with the fumble in overtime. He's fighting for extra yards. BC kicks the field goal. Gutsy win by them because they didn't give up when they were on the road. With Hamilton coming to town, Hamilton's defense has played a lot better lately. A little suspect to start. Bo Levi is just doing Bo Levi things. If you're Scott Milanovich, where do you have to attack this Rider team? What are the weaknesses that you see that Hamilton can come to town to try to exploit? People have tried. It doesn't necessarily work.
Yeah, I'm going to flip it the other way, Maz, to be honest with you. My question for Corey Mace is, what do you have dialed up for Kenny Lawler? How are you going to approach the most explosive receiver in the league who, forget man coverage, forget trying to bracket him. What's on tap for Lawler? That's one. The other is, and BC didn't do this, and they wanted to, how are you going to get to Bo? How are you going to hit Bo? How are you going to put pressure on Bo, etc.? The one thing, not the one thing, but among the things that Mace has in his back pocket here is how many seasons as a defensive line coach in Calgary did he go up against Bo Levi in practice? How many of the nuances of Bo Levi does Mace know? What he likes, what he doesn't like, what gets him into a rhythm, what has him comfortable, etc. I'm more intrigued the flip side of what the Riders defense has in store for 89, what the Riders defense has in store for the quarterback. That to me is the tail of the tape in this football game, not the other way around.
Kenny has gone off in past games against us, with Bombers, Elks. Kenny has made a bit of a heyday when he does play the Riders. I think it's going to be a completely different Rider team than we saw earlier, or a Hamilton Ticat team that we saw earlier in the year. I think they were still finding our way. I'm hoping that it turns out to be the best team in the East against the best team in the West. I know the people talking about this is the teeth of the Riders' schedule. You got the Ticats, you got the Stampeders on the road, you got the Bombers back-to-back. Durant said yesterday when we had him on, in the West, records don't matter because it's the West, but it does matter in the East. Hamilton's the one team out there that I would say is legit. Now, are they on par with the Riders? we'll find out. Because keep in mind, every time when they do the game, they'll always throw up Bo's winning record or percentage against the Riders. Over his career, he's pretty much had our number as well, whether he's been a Stampeder or a Ticat.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter anymore. Like what Bo did with the personnel that they had in Calgary, none of them are in the league anymore. Right? So, look, to me, the arms race in the West comes down to Sask and BC. And maybe this is just my stubbornness. I didn't buy into the Stamps at the beginning of the season. I didn't buy into the Stamps. I just don't. I just can't. I just see too many holes and too many issues. They're getting it done on defense, Maz, but it's just base stuff. There's not much to it. And to me in the East, once Davis Alexander gets himself right, it's a 2-horse race in the East with Hamilton and Montreal. Now, look, I've been wrong about Calgary all year. I was wrong about Calgary before the season started, early in the season. I guess we're now close to mid-season. But if I had any Stampeder stock, I would be first on the floor tomorrow, relinquishing it all. Because I don't think you're going to get it as high as you're going to have it right now.
If you go to sportscage.com, our poll question is, who is your midseason MOP? Trevor Harris, Bo Levi Mitchell, or Vernon Adams Jr.? We know one person that's not voting for Big Play VA. We won't.
I'm going up. By the way, I'm going off the board on this. My MOP right now is Kenny Lawler, because what took the Ticats to the next dimension is Lawler. Like this is effectively the same roster with the same players, the same quarterback. What's made Bo go is knowing that he's got that go ball, is knowing that he's got that security blanket, is knowing that at all times 89 is going to be open. It should be VA. I guess the first half MOP, okay, VA. I just don't see that team being good enough when the season really gets going to continue what they're doing. I'm going to quadruple down on this.
I would love to see you at the Toronto Stock Exchange walking around with a bunch of non-sports fans with a pretend envelope that says Calgary Stampeder stock. If you could make an Instagram reel and no one's buying, you're trying to sell it.
Just a bunch of horses, just start throwing some white horses around. Yeah.
Oh, hey, so let's rewind to the Blue Jays in LA last weekend for the Dodgers. I thought games 1 and 2 showed the Dodgers are just a really good, really complete baseball team. But then on Sunday, you saw that plucky, never say die, if you leave the door open just a crack, we're going to come and kick it in Toronto Blue Jay team. And how good was it to get Ohtani swinging to go down into the game? Like, you got to tell me that plane ride home from LA. They only won one game, but that was a great way to leave Chavez Ravine.
You know, I thought of, Maz, when I watched that, I thought of my grade 5 teacher at a Catholic elementary school, Sister Lorraine. Shout out to Sister Lorraine, whose line, she loved baseball and she loved the Blue Jays. Her line was root tootin' fig Newton. When they got Ohtani at the end of that game, I could almost hear her voice saying that. That was her kind of, her joyous kind of cheer. I get it's 1 out of 162. I get that the Dodgers left how many runners in scoring position throughout? They probably should have ran away with that game. But there are certain moments of the schedule that when you escape the way the Jays did, and then you're, cross-country flight, now the Cubs are coming to town, another good NL team. When you're able to kind of come out of that unscathed, those are the kind of wins that can really make significant impacts on your season. Stranding the bases loaded against the best team in baseball. I don't care what the records are. The Dodgers are, a World Series threat again. Root toot fig Newton. Like that's what all that was for the Jays. That's a big time win for them.
If we could get Hoffman maybe not to walk the first batter he faces every time going forward. I'm not much of a baseballologist, but that would be my free advice. Yeah. Over the weekend, the New York Yankees...
You're onto something there. Confirmed. Don't walk the first batter every time. Yes.
The New York Yankees, the team that's making headlines for all the wrong reasons, because it's funny, since the trade deadline, when they picked up everybody, now they're going the wrong direction in the standing. What was it? It was Old Timer Weekend or Classic Yankee Weekend in New York. They brought Johnny Damon looks 75, and Johnny Damon's not 75.
Johnny Damon's not 75. Johnny Damon was on the Yankee 2009 team, the last Yankee team that won a World Series. But how about Mariano Rivera, who only retired a few years ago? He's out there in the outfield. I think we have video of this, that he's kind of acknowledging the crowd, and then he kind of runs forward, and then his Achilles gets out.
Ouch.
So Mariano Rivera, the greatest closer in the history of baseball, acknowledges the fans, runs forward, and pop. Just another reminder, Maz, for all of us, Father Time is undefeated.
Are you in a forest in Nova Scotia, and are you going to get a $28,000 ticket? And do we need a GoFundMe to get you out of that ticket?
You know what? If it's a non-taxable item, why don't we just say I am, and let's get that GoFundMe fired up.
Arash has got a fake GoFundMe going for
you go. Probably not the first time that's happened.
Get Curtis or Colson to do a fake screen cap of the ticket. We'll change the name there, or Photoshop or whatever. Pretend you got it. We'll just get the, speaking of crazy things happening in this country. Hey, how about the Canadian tourism industry? Oh, wait, don't go there. Do you have life savings? No, then don't go there either. Oh,
and that's the amazing part, is that, as a native Nova Scotian, so many Canadians have decided to come out east. Because no one's going south, and then this happens, I know. Well,
listen, Arash, as long as your elbows are up and your opinions of the CFL are high, that's all we care about on this show. Till Thursday, my friend.